Well, thank you everyone for joining us again today. And today we've got the amazingly talented Antonio from Antonio Makes. Thank you, Antonio, for joining us.
Thank you, Sue, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Poor Antonio, I had to reschedule last week, so we finally made it to catch up together, which is good. Antonio, for those people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Antonio. I'm Italian, born in Italy, and currently living in UK because I met my husband here. So I decided to stay. Been in UK for about 15 years, and there is a project which is a dreams coming closer and closer and closer to move back to Italy, hopefully in the next 18, 24 months latest. But yeah,
Very exciting for you guys.
yeah, very, very, very happy with both of
Yeah.
us. Yes. So,
So that was going to be one of my questions. Are you going to move to Italy?
yes. So the plan is to go there as soon as we possibly can. We are finalizing the purchase our house. So we are the goal is to get this house that we fell in love with. Is slightly larger house, and we want to split into two. And then on the one half, me and Jamie will live there, and the other half we do like a holiday rental because where I'm from is very, very touristy. It's beautiful Italian countryside by the sea, so yeah, it's very picturesque. So
Oh,
that's the dream, which is getting closer and closer. So
oh, it sounds amazing. Sounds
yeah,
amazing. Yeah. So, Antonia, you've been on YouTube for about 4 years, is that right?
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And so, why did you start a YouTube channel?
Yes, fourth birthday actually. Yeah, I launched the channel 2019. Well, I've been crafting pretty much all my life. I studied fine art at college, so my background is painting. Then I moved into fashion design and marketing, but I've always been loving anything to do with like hands. So from like painting to creating to sewing. I'm not the best at stitching, but I do like to play with fabric and create things. But yeah, alongside fashion, I'll then do paper craft, and then I decided, well, why don't I share this with the world and
Why not?
yeah, decided to open a channel and share what I do, and it's very much like a journey. I try different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but yeah, it's a journey that I share with everybody, just to
Mm.
learn new things, try new techniques, and yeah, go with the flow.
Yeah, well, we're very lucky to have you in our community. So you give so much. You're very generous, and you give free digitals every Friday, which is amazing. And they're very much appreciated. Excuse me. Um, Before we go too much further, so Antonio goes by Antonio Makes, and you can find Antonio's digitals on antoniomakes.com. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you. So yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so Antonio Makes on Facebook, Kofi, Instagram, and TikTok. I
Yes,
think I've got
correct.
them all.
Thank you. Yes, yes, you did. Thank you.
So, just touching on your YouTube channel, you're a very talented man by the looks of it. So, and I love that your YouTube channel says Antonio Makes. So that covers you for just, I mean, I have to say, your cooking looks oh, so nice. And I've actually I love custard, so I saw your Italian custard, and I've written down the recipe, and I'm going to give it a go this weekend. So I'll have to
Oh
let you.
wow, let me know.
I will. Oh, it looks amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. But I've just sort of I'm just amazed at how talented and so many things that you've done. Is like you've not just journals and card making, you do cooking and soap making, cosmetics, face scrubs, creams, home decor. I like the list just goes on and on. Is there anything you can't do?
Well, thank you. Well, as I said, it's I like to try different things. With beauty, I'm always been obsessed with natural beauty because the problem is that I have a very sensitive skin. So I can't use pretty much 99.9% of cosmetics from the drugstores
Mm.
because my skin gets simple an allergic reaction to pretty much everything. So I then start learning and do some research about beauty ingredients and going going through like a green handmade beauty. So I do my own cosmetics, I do my face mask, moisturizer, etc., etc. And the same with soaps. So once I discovered the soap making, or another heaven opens, because it's such an interesting field, because you can make pretty much everything at home. You just need a bit more time, and it's fantastic, and I really, really enjoy doing that. Also, it's a very stress relief process as well, because with soaps, it's like you bake. It's pretty much the same process. You mix the ingredient, and through a chemical reaction, you actually get the soap at the end of the process. And with cooking, it's the same, because my dad comes from a very big family. He used to have 14 actually, sorry, between brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So when he was young, my grandma, that unfortunately she's no longer with us, she used to cook a lot of things at home, because it was cheaper, and you have 14 months to you need to give foods to. So they grew up with next to nothing, but very nice, simple, tasty foods. And my dad has got that in his blood, and it kind of like transmit that to us, to me and my brother. So me and my brother has got the same passion for foods that my dad has. So and because my husband don't cook, he doesn't not cook. So I do pretty much everything here at home. So yeah, and I love cooking. So yeah,
so does
and I love eating as well.
So does Jamie not cook because he knows you're such a good cook?
Possibly, yes, possibly. Recently, he met the dishwasher. So I had to introduce, I say, Jamie, the dishwasher, you guys meet one another, and then they become friends. So
well, that was always the rule in our house. You cook, you don't have to clean up. So someone else has to do it. It's only
exactly.
So do you only have one brother?
Yes, one older brother.
Yep. So you both got the cooking bug.
Yes. No. And the eating bug as well, as you can see.
Yes, well, we all love that, don't we? Especially good Italian food. You can't go past that. So, Antonio, what is your first memory of ever being creative?
Really good question. I remember when I was at college, when we first learned how to use alcohol inks. I remember basically made it a huge mess. In our school, we used to have, I don't think they do this anymore. We're talking about 20 odd years ago. We used to have these really good big benches, wooden benches, and each of us had a really good big surface. And I remember when we first learned how to use this at school, I came home with like all my hands were like full of inks, and it took a couple of days to wash out. But I really loved the result. I know it was absolutely it was just like inks everywhere. But I truly enjoyed that, because it was my very first time that I have used inks. And everybody was criticizing, like, oh, it looks horrible, but I truly, truly enjoyed that. And I think my hands did too. So yeah, that's my very, very first memory of creating. Yes.
That's lovely. It's good getting messy. I love mixed media art. I'm not very good at it, but I love getting messy and just going with
me neither.
Yeah.
My New Year resolution for next year in the channel is to start doing more mixed media videos, because it's something that I don't do because I'm extremely frightening. But then I thought, well, something that if there is a fear, that means there is a passion for it, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna have a very good go and do a mini series about how to experiment with materials and mixed media. So watch out.
I look forward to that, because a lot of people will probably resonate with that, because I know for myself, I'm a bit fearful of it as well, because I always want things to be perfect, to turn out perfectly, but that's not what it's all about, is it? It's just about playing and enjoying the process and having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say in my videos, it's not all about the outcome, what your project looks like. It's all about having fun in the journey, and then who cares about what it looks like. And I'm very clumsy as well, so I never ever make anything that's neat and squared and straight and clean. Absolutely not. So in fact, I probably still, because I did a bit of crafting this morning, I still got a bit of glue on my hands. So yeah, it's all about having fun.
It is, and it's learning.
Yes, absolutely.
If we make a mistake, it doesn't matter. We've learned something, or if something doesn't react with something else, we've learned something from that. So, and I'm with you. I'm very clumsy as well. I knock things over and do all sorts. So probably half the ink would end up where it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in particular that started you creating or inspired you to create?
My granddad, he was a very talented musician. So when you say to me, "Oh, is anything that you can't do?" Well, I can't sing and I can't play any instruments. I don't know why. It's a shame because it's something I always wanted to learn. So I remember when I was young, looking at him playing the piano, and it was so fascinating. And you get goosebump, and you say, seeing this really talented man follow his dream, and then I decided to follow my dream because I really always loved painting, loved creating, and that gives me the buzz of start crafting, I guess. So, yeah.
That's lovely. Really nice. Nice memory to have of your grandfather. Yeah, beautiful.
Definitely.
In what way does being creative affect your daily life?
Oh, in a lot of different ways. So I wish I could craft full time, but at the moment it's part time because I still have a part time daily job. So I wish I could do this full, but I'm sure with time will come and I will be able to craft full time. I always find myself inspired by pretty much everything and everywhere I go, especially now with social medias. When you see something, could be a picture, could be a video, could be, I don't know, somebody shared something. You look at that picture or that video and your brain start working, and you got light bulb moments and say, actually, that, I don't know, to give you an example, that beautiful seaside, that color of the sea, that, I don't know, that particular products, it just make my head start spinning. And and I'm a very curious person. Going back, excuse me, going back to learning how to make your own beauty products or make soaps or cook and, try new different recipe. I'm a very curious person. I need to know everything. I need to know the why as well. So yeah, and that's keeps me inspired and keep me motivated, I guess. So
you must be very patient as well, because I find, I suppose I have to be really passionate about something if I want to know how it works or how to do it. But I get very impatient because I want to see the end product. And if it takes too long, I sometimes find that I get a little bit, not bored, but I just want it to hurry up, and then, I can't wait for the process. So you must be a very patient man as well.
I'm learning, to be fair, to be patient because what I do as well, because again, my head, imagine you have 10 heads. So you've got 10 different interests or 15 different interests. So your head is constantly spinning full of ideas. And I always want to try. So I start something, then I get bored, and then I start something else, then I get bored, and then I start something, and then I'm going back and trying to finish what I start. So I got so many journals that I had to finish because I see something, I want to try something different. So again, another number 2 New Year's resolution from 2024 is start and finish something, because it's nice to going back as a journey to say what was the beginning and what was the end. And have that as a memory keeper as well. So that's what I need to learn. But I'm like you, to be fair. I'm not impatient, but I rush and I want to start something different. So yes.
Yeah. I guess probably impatience is the wrong word, but yes, that's what I'm like. Come on, I want to see the end result. It's not happening quick enough. I'm going to put that aside and I want to try this now. So, and if I can get it out of my head and down, done, get it through my hands and do it, if I know that it's going to work, I'll put it aside and I'll come back to it later. I do eventually things. They might take a while, but I do. I'm assuming you're all the same.
Yeah, and I love your attention to detail, and it's something that I really admire from you. and it's something that I want myself to get better at. Having the patience to, your finished touches are incredible.
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
to rush and get that done and move into something else. So yeah, no, I love that
Oh,
from your
thank you.
work. Yeah, definitely.
So talking about your journals, is there a process that you have when you're creating a new journal? Like, do you consider any specific factors at all, or do you just make it as it comes? Do you plan out your journals when you're making them?
Very, very depends. So for example, if I'm doing a tutorial or how to, if you want to call it that way, because I don't really believe in tutorial, because I'm not anybody that is teaching anything to anybody. As I said, it's just a journey. So when I show how to make something specific, then yes, I plan and I do in different stages. That, for example, collected material, I do some sketches, I make sure it's kind of work kind of different way. Often do a prototype, so I do something first, and then when I film the video, then, as you know, because I make mistakes, I working on that and share the process. So it just very depends what I'm doing. If it's something for myself, I don't know, if it's scrapbooking I'm doing for my own personal journal, I don't. But if it's something, as I said, that it's got a meaning to showcase a process, yes, then I'll split into different stages of collecting materials, sketching, trying, reviewing, and then showcasing it. Yes.
Do you think you have a style?
I think so. I think everybody has his own style. I do. I love butterflies. So part of my logo, there is a butterfly in the middle.
Yeah.
And for some different reasons. Like I remember when we were little, it seems to have a lot of butterflies around me. I don't know, when we were doing, I don't know, some walks or whatever I was, sometimes there were butterfly. There was always a butterfly. And I don't know, there must be a reason behind it. So my style is very, I like contrast. So you probably see a lot of my floral creation with some geometric. I like things that clash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of these crafter that likes, I don't know, tone on tone for example, if you think about the shabby style, the French shabby, the original French shabby is very pretty. It's got these very lovely pastel colors. I like things that clash. I like dramatic things, and I think that's pretty much my style, if you want to call it that way.
You love bright colors.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you can see that in your beautiful printables. That really shows. Yeah. Have you noticed any particular themes or trends recently in the junk journal community that you really want to give a try?
Yes, as I said to you earlier, mixed media is one of them. And then I do really want to start scrapbooking. I got a couple of journal I found in charity shops, and I got it because something that I want to start doing again with the new year, because I want to collect memories. So I want to do every page to be a memory holder for something. I don't know if it's an event or if a picture or something, because I think in this digital era that we live now, I take loads of pictures on my phone, and then sometimes I had to delete it because your memory gets full, and we don't print pictures anymore. Every time we're going to see my mum and dad in Italy, they got albums since we were little. And my dad, bless him, still prints. So if we take a picture of us, he still prints them and he put in these albums. So it's his own thing to keep us as a family, although we live all miles away, to keep that as a memory into one place that we all can go back and look at it. And I think that's what I really, really want to try and do. So mixed media is one, and scrapbooking as a memory keeper is number two.
That's the thing about this era, is that it is the digital age, and I actually have two little printers. I have a Sprocket and a selfie printer. And I'm a little bit like your dad. I print the photos out, but I do them just in a little journal, or like a probably A5, a little bit bigger, and I put the photos in and write about the event or the day or what the photo represents. And because I used to do the traditional scrapbooking, the 12-inch by 12-inch scrapbooking, but I've got so many albums, I just can't fit them anywhere. They're in storage at the moment. So I love keeping memories, because I want my kids and their kids to grow up and know, you know, what things were like for me, and for them, and, you know, the different times. I like, because my mum's always kept memories, so she's got photos and that from back in the 40s and the 50s, and it's just so amazing. I could sit for hours and flip through them. So
yeah, it's so fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful idea to do what you're doing. So I look forward to seeing some videos with that. That'd be great.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So yeah, I've got loads of projects for next year. So lots of exciting things I want to try and do and see and experiment. So
look forward to that. Do you have any unique features at all that you add into nearly every journal that you create?
I don't think so. As I said, there are some recurrent ways, I guess, to do things, or recurrent images or colors that I tend to use, because again, it represents who I am, it represents my personality. But I like to do and try something a bit different, and to be more eclectic and look at different things in a different ways, I guess. So yeah, no, maybe not.
I think we all, we can look at something, you know, like I can look at something that you've made and then put my style to that. So we don't have to put ourselves in a box, do we? And, you know, say, well, I want to do it exactly the same way as what Antonio did it. We can, I mean, really, is there anything brand new that's ever, you know, it's always a version of something else, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, going back to when we get inspiration from, sometimes you see something, I don't know, on Pinterest, or I don't know, Facebook, or I don't know, TikTok or whatever, and you see that particular item and then you wanted to recreate it, and might end up being something completely different from the original picture, because we all have our own, we put things and our stamps in a different project. So yeah, no, I totally agree. Absolutely.
It's amazing how our creative brains work, isn't it?
Definitely.
Well, we spoke, so you say that you have an eclectic style, probably. Would that be?
Yeah, I would like to say so. I completely agree with you, and don't like to be put myself into a box, because again, my interests are so various. I'm not a journal maker. I'm not just a journal maker. I'm not just a crafter. I'm not just a card maker. I'm not just a chef, if you want to call it like that, or somebody that cook. And you know, I like to try and play with different things, and absolutely, and change things around, and yeah, absolutely.
Would you have a favourite out of your paper crafting? Would you have a favourite out of your journal making, ephemera making, or card making? Tell us what that is.
Card making. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. And you know why? Because I think, and this is what I do, when somebody gives me a card, or I don't know, a little present, then the person put an hour or 2 hours of their own personal time to create something for me. I think that is actually more meaningful than the actual present itself. So I create cards, I not necessarily share it all the time on YouTube, or I do, I don't know, like for my team at work, I don't know, gift wrap chocolate, for example, in a different way. And I always spend enough time to create, to spend in the packaging, and not just the actually present itself, because I want the person to know that it's a special person, or you know, I spend quite a lot of time doing that for him or for her. And I love that. And yeah, card making is probably my favorite. Yes,
I love your interactive cards.
Yes, I love that as well.
Some of them just do my head in. I can't work out how you make them. Even though you show how to make them, I still can't. My head just doesn't compute. Just
No, to be fair, I was the same with origami. Origami frightened me for a very long time, because I'm not like, I can't knit. like my mum, she was, well, she still is, bless her. She's got fibromyalgia, so she
Mm,
can't use the hands. She gets tired a lot,
yeah,
like fairly quick. So when we were little, she used to knit our jumpers, or oh, she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing with crochet or anything like that. For some reason, my brain, that's no process, repetitive things. So knitting, I have tried several times. I just cannot do it. Origami was exactly the same. So I watched the origami tutorial and I try to create it, and then I had to pause it and look back, and then sometimes I just give up. I say, oh, do you know what? Toss it. No, I'm not going to do it. But interactive card like fanciful cards is nice because sometimes even if you make mistake, it still work, so it still stand up. And I think that's quite fun, that you might see my cards that are a bit wonky, or I glue things on the wrong way, but yeah, and I'm not edited that because that's part of the journey, and that's part of the process. And going back to what we said about making mistakes, that's my card. Maybe somebody else make a card and it's pristine and it's perfect, but that's not what my videos are for. That's not who
yeah.
I am. And I don't want
And
to edit it
well, it
to
just
make it look.
makes you more human, doesn't it?
Yeah,
We all make mistakes, and
yeah,
we're kidding ourselves if we look at some of these creators that everything's perfect and works out first time. It doesn't.
yeah,
That's the beauty of editing, I think. But like
yeah.
I can edit my videos, but I can't edit them that well. So I quite often have mistakes in there. But I think receiving a handmade gift is just really special. And like you say, sometimes the greeting card can be more meaningful than the actual gift. I find it really hard to, well, I don't ever throw away any card, actually. I've got a box full of, even manufactured cards. I just can't get rid of them.
No, totally.
Yeah. Some of them I put in my journals as well, just as a memory, and mostly handmade cards go in my journals. So I love to keep those and who they're from. Antonia, how do you strike a balance between functionality and aesthetics in your journals?
Oh, a lot, in a way that I have a journal that I have used as more like an agenda. So something that I use that is as a daily, for my daily work. So I can just, put the days I'm at work, the days I'm at home, the days I'm at the gym. So I have that. It's extremely functional and it's very clean. You won't believe me. So it's black and white.
Yeah.
Pristine. It's
Yeah.
literally, there is nothing. There is not a butterfly, not a single, nothing. It's black and white. And I use that because when I plan things for my daily, weekly, or monthly routine, if you want to call it that way, I have to have a system in place. The other journals I do are completely opposite. So they're very creative, colorful. There's a lot of textures. There's a lot of different materials, and I like that because that is the art. So to keep very separate from, very chaotic as well. Keep it very different from the more like a routine, clear, functional journal or agenda. So yes.
Yeah. Do you sell your journals?
No, I gift them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I sell. The only thing I sell is the digital papers that I design, but I don't. I don't sell journals for this exact specific reasons, because I just want people, and everybody that watches my videos, they don't necessarily call themselves as crafter, but I think everybody's a crafter at the end of the day. I want them to have the, not courage, but to have that freedom to make their own journal and learn the process, rather than me selling an artwork as a final product. I like to gift that to somebody when I send, I don't know, we email or happy mails or things like that, or sometimes to my friends if they need one. So yeah.
Beautiful. How do you engage with your community of creatives, and how has that influenced your body of work, if at all?
I do. I do watch, of course, other videos creators, and we did collaboration. We did one together not long ago, because I always like to see how a person that is completely different in it for the different reasons from myself have that style or interpret a prompt or a style that we design or we agreed together. And I think that's really important. And it's something that I want to do more as well in 2024 is do more collaborations in my channel, because I want to, with people that not necessarily paper crafters, because I want to show how, you know, with the same product, could be a paper, could be a digital paper, could be anything. Different people will create something completely different. And that's really, really important. And I think I learn a lot from other creators as well, because as I said, I'm not here to teach anything to anybody, but you know, I am conscious that lots of crafters got longer experience than me in crafting, and I love to learn and see what they do and take inspirations. And I think what you say earlier, we all take inspiration from one another. So it's just a journey of see what how to do and do something that might look completely different. So
yeah, that's great. Where do you find inspiration? I know we've already touched on this a little bit. So where do you find your inspiration mainly for your creations, and how do you stay motivated to create?
Funny that you said that. I literally last weekend, I put a story on my Instagram and I've asked if it's any topic that, you know, viewers and followers would like me to cover in a video. And literally, this was one of the questions. It says, how do you keep yourself creative, and what do you do to keep yourself creative and motivated? So I've literally filmed a video yesterday. So it's going to come up on my channel fairly soon. And this is something that I never ever struggled. I probably am very lucky because, as I said to you at the very beginning of this chat, I just wish I had more time. But keep yourself creative, I think you just need to just walking around and see everything around you. And also social medias nowadays, because we are glued on our phones. So again, see what's happening in the world, and it just gives you so many ideas. But I do think social media that's specifically designed for this purpose, for example, Pinterest or Instagram, more than others, because the main purpose of these social medias was to share ideas and topics and pins and pictures. So other people around the world will be able to see them. And I think they are still a great source of inspirations. It just depends how you use them as well. So, and there is a commercial side of it, of course, because, you know, everybody needs to make money, I guess. But yeah, I think if used correctly, these social medias are super beneficial.
I love Instagram because it's so visual. You know,
yeah, very.
You can just, you know, go through and you just like, you could be lost for hours just looking it through. I mean, obviously it depends on who you follow, but just the amazing art and, you know, different things that people, you know, I follow so many different people, not just junk journalists, you know, mixed media artists and people who crochet, people who do macrame, all that sort of thing. I just think it's incredible. Just going back to soap making, I love watching her, Ariana, and her last name's A.
Oh, yes. She's a Canadian lady.
Yes.
And,
I've forgotten her name.
Follow her as well.
Oh, she is so clever. I love just watching. I'd love to try soap making.
Yeah, she does. I think her posts are in English and French because she speaks French. I think her second language is French. Ariane something. She's got a French surname, I guess. Yes, I know exactly what you're referring to. She's got a little shop. If you see the shop in that little wooden cabin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's so talented.
Oh, her soaps. I would love some. Would absolutely love some. Yeah, might visit one of these days. So speaking of staying motivated, so we all lose our mojo at some point, you know, whether it's just slightly or, you know, quite aggressively. And it can be quite frightening, thinking that you're not ever going to get it back. How do you get beyond that? What do you do to get your mojo back if you lose it?
Yeah, I always trying to keep a reference. I have like a reference journal. So I put all together different ideas. It's like a book, and it's full of like sketches, pictures from like magazines, pictures from newspaper, my own notes that I see, as you said, when you're scrolling through social media. So always take some notes because, you said, oh, actually, yeah, let me write that down before I forget. And that's probably the best tip I can share, having a place when you put all your ideas together. So when your mojo is lost, you can just open it and see through your notes and through your materials, and that will keep your brain so creative all the time. So
That's a fantastic idea. I've only just started a reference journal beginning of this year, and that's one thing I think, I mean, I don't really have regrets, but that's one thing that I wish I had have done from day one. And particularly when if you just get lost in your phone and you're flicking through Instagram, it's such a good idea. What I've started doing now is just taking a screenshot and going back to it and then writing that idea down, because you go, oh, I saw that now, trying to find that, because it moves so fast, the feed, you probably don't ever find that again if you can't remember who it was from. So yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yes. And now that you said that, you won't believe me, but I do exactly the same, and I'll show you. I have a folder on my iPhone, and I got a folder that says to do, and then I put all the screenshots.
Good idea.
So I got a folder, literally like you just said, took all screenshots, I put into there, and then I will go back and put it in my reference journal. I write it down because,
that's a great idea.
Great things look at. Great minds
yeah, think alike. So that's probably a really good tip for people that are just starting out, is to start that, because as I said, I really wish I had have done that from day one, but I'm doing it now, so that's okay. So other than that tip, do you have any other tips and tricks that you would like to share with us?
I think as well, what I do, part of this collecting memories or collecting tips or collecting ideas, it's literally physically put things into a plastic bag or a paper bag or a box. Because I am a very tactile visual person, so I have to see things. So when I see something that could be, I don't know, from a supermarket, I don't know if there is a nice packaging that will give me an idea, or I don't know, if I go up to the gym and I see something on the tram, I took a picture of it, or anything, just put it into one place. Not necessarily a journal, not necessarily a reference journal, but put something into one place. And so you will always be able to go back and pick something, and then that will remind you of an idea that you had or an emotion that you have, and going with that.
A little bit like a commonplace book.
Yeah, absolutely.
A commonplace box or something, so that you can always refer to it and it's always there. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Where do you create, Antonio? Do you have your own space?
Yes, but unfortunately, it's shared with my husband's wardrobes. So we are very fortunate here because we have 3 bedrooms for ourselves, and it's only 2 of us. So we used to have the second bedroom for like my mum and dad, where they come to visit, or friends and family. So we decided to get rid of the bed and put a little sofa bed, and bought myself a desk, some storage units, and my husband, for work, he gets free clothes as allowance. So and it's growing, so we had to get a couple of wardrobes to put in there because he needs some more space. And also there are some storage boxes, that things that we don't we often use it, but not so often that needs to be out, but also not rarely that needs to go in the loft. I hope I'm making sense. It's in between. So they're all going into boxes in there. But in the house that in Italy, when we're going to move, I will have my own room, which
that'll be lovely.
So excited.
Something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Does Jamie share his clothes though?
No, I wish, because we have different sizes. I'm an XL and he's a medium, so
no.
I'm working on that. So
just speaking of clothes, I've been looking at your shirt, and it's funny how you say different things inspire you and whatever. And I'm thinking, that'd make a really nice journal cover.
Yeah, it's a really
You know,
nice
love it.
gold. It's like gold baroque on a navy background. It's my favorite shirt because I was thinking, what can I wear? What can I wear to your party? Because it's it's a party, and then I thought, oh, let's put my favorite shirt. So
Well,
yeah,
you
got
look
my
very
favorite shirt.
swish. Look very swish, but when you finish with it, send it my way. I'll make a journal cover.
Oh, will do. Will do. Funny enough, you said that because I have few shirts that don't fit me anymore. So I kept it. And when we move, I will ask my mum to help me making some cushions because it's got for my craft room because it's got some I love patterns. All my shirts are full of patterns. As you can see on the intro of my videos, I always wear different pattern shirts. So I kept them because they've got some really nice, interesting fabric. And I want to make like some cushions. And maybe with the sleeves that you can't really do much with it, I'll use them in journals or craft projects. But yeah, I'm quite excited. And because they all clash, it's going back to what I said earlier, but I like dramatic contrast. So I can visualize already having a small sofa with all different cushions from the shirts that I bought here in the UK. So there's a lot of memories attached to it. So yeah.
You can make a quilt. Make a quilt,
Yes.
maybe.
I was just thinking that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Do you have a favorite technique or tool?
Yes, I tend to stick a lot to watercolor. I love it, and because I like with watercolor, it's going back to the fact of not being perfect. With watercolor, you can hide mistakes. So with watercolor, because it's so immediate, we you see with acrylic colors, you can go all over it, so you can do layering, cover it. But with watercolors, because it's so instinctive and it's very fluid, it's just get it out. So it's like your emotion just spread and mix all together. So watercolor is probably my favorite. But I also like 3D paper craft. So when I make like gift boxes or I don't know, alternate packaging or things like that, I really, really love that as well.
Do you have a favorite watercolor brand that you use?
No, not specifically. No.
No. Okay.
I try different brands and
Yeah. And do you use your watercolors on cards? Any of your greeting cards at all?
Yes, yes. I'm gonna do a couple of cards for Christmas with watercolor, just to to give some ideas to somebody, maybe somebody that's just started with watercolors, because you don't need a lot of fancy equipment to make really nice simple cards. And then again, going back to the card that you made, you spend time making it. So I think people will appreciate. And watercolor cards are so easy and quick to make because it's the process quite quick. And you can make in bulk because once you feel confident with yourself, you want to do more, you want to do more, you want to do more. So you ended up with a big collection.
Yeah, handy to keep having your stash.
Yeah.
Have you faced any challenges, Antonio, with regards to your creative journey?
As I said in the beginning, the only challenge that I have is time. And sometimes if I film, I tend to film when I'm at work. I tend to film sometime in the evening after work. It's for myself as my personal stress relief. But I noticed that when I'm tired, because also I learn not to film when I'm tired because I'm extremely clumsy. So my clumsiness gets amplified when I'm tired. So I learn with significant mistakes that it's better not to do that. And also my English drop when I'm tired. My English drops significantly. So yeah, that's probably the challenge I face if I'm filming. But yeah, on a creative side, it's probably, yeah, I'll if I'm tired, I tend not to. But it's hard because I want to use the craft as a self stress relief. Yes.
Yeah. Do you find that you have you put aside time to just create for yourself and not to make a video? Do you make much time for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I tend to, and I like to have a balance, because of course you probably relate to this. When you have a YouTube channel, you feel that you have this responsibility of sharing content. Um, you know, if I like, for example, I have my favorite stamps that I use for craft. And you, of course, I don't think having sharing the same stamps is it will be beneficial, because you don't want your audience or people that are looking at what you do to see the same things all over again. So, and when I do my own crafting, could be for, I don't know, somebody has asked me to do things, or for proper for my personal happiness and joy, I seems to tend to use the same supplies because I just love them. But when I film for my YouTube channel that I want to try different things, because I make a list of things that I want to try, then I then change that into something I want to try and share with the wider community.
I love that you, and I've got to get better at that as well. And I think I am starting to, but I love that how you said you just create and you do your videos, and if you mess it up, it doesn't matter. You know, it's not that you're teaching anything in particular to anyone, but you're just showing that, you know, this is what you can get if you try to do this, and you know what, it may not work out, and if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. I think
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can all learn from that, I think.
No, absolutely. And it's really important because, as well, like I watch crafters, they are exactly the same. So, when YouTube is like a television. So, and the good things about it, that you can select what you watch as well. So, I've decided not long ago, actually, just before my birthday, not for different reasons, specific reasons, but I just deliberately I'm subscribed for channels that I used to call the perfect channels. So for crafters that, they have the best lighting, the best products, the best,
Yeah.
because I don't think that's reality, and I don't think that's true that is all about. And of course, there is a brand partnership, which I think is contaminating us as a community. Don't get me wrong, I do, and I did videos, sponsors a video, but I always disclaim that very clearly in the beginning of the video, in the info box, in the title, everywhere, for a legal point of view, but also for a respect for my audience, saying that this video is sponsored. But I was noticing that lots of craft that I used to follow, they were just becoming more like a brand seller, and I didn't like that. So, and then that I don't think that what all craft is about. So
sometimes you wonder whether they're totally honest about what
exactly.
what they're using, and whether they really do like it. So, but I have to agree with you. Yeah.
And for this exact reason, I don't do craft hauls anymore. I used to do them a lot. I used to share what I buy, because I don't want to influence, if that is the word. I don't want to make people go and spend money into buy something that A, don't need, and B, because I say that they're nice. So I stop to do any craft haul videos for this exact reasons. So, and I don't do affiliate marketing because for exactly the same reason.
Yeah.
Because I used to do it when I first start launch, because at the end of the day, it's cash that, it helps us to buy products, especially if you are a beginner, that you need the cash to buy products, because if you don't have products, you can't film videos. So I've done that in the past, but I decided not to do it. So, and that's, everybody's got his own ideas on, everybody's is in charge for their own channel. But I think we need to be more transparent with our viewers, and see where something is recommended because it's personally recommended, or if it's recommended because it's been paid to say so.
Yeah. I personally, I love a haul video. I love watching.
No, I do.
But I think it's just about becoming a little bit more mature, I guess, a mature crafter, in the sense that if once you've been crafting for a while, I mean, I've been paper crafting for over 30 years. And so I have, so much stuff. And I've gone through that stage where I've had to have everything that I've seen in a whole video. I have to have that and I have to have that. Whereas now, because I've been doing it for so long, I really don't, and I think probably I can see what you're saying though. For people that's starting out, they think, well, Antonio's got that, so I need to have that and that and that and that, to get the effect that he gets. But you don't need everything, do you?
No, absolutely. No.
What would be
and also, I think,
sorry
to interrupt. No, I'm very sorry to interrupt. But I also think sometimes, and I used to be like that, we all hoard things because we like to have a collection. We like to open and see all the stamps that we have. We're all guilty. Put my hand up. But also we don't respect our money, I don't think, because we tend to buy things just to put in the box. We probably use it once or twice. So yeah, no.
When you buy your stamps, so you obviously love your stamps. So we have so much in common, Antonio. I started stamping in 1992, I think it was. And I've still got my first stamp that I ever bought. So way back then, I used to buy stamps because they're cute or, oh, I love that, whereas now I'm a little bit more, okay, so can I use that more than half a dozen times? And how would I use that? Where would I use it? Is that how you buy your stamps now? Or are you still sort of, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to subscribe. I used to be a subscriber for some crafty magazines that you will pay for the magazine and you get the stamp attached to the magazine. But what I was noticing throughout the months that the stamps were very similar. They were repeating. So I decided to unsubscribe for all these magazines. So I very, very rarely buy anything anymore for a stamp point of view because I have enough. I really have enough.
Can you ever have?
Yeah, I think, well, one brand, and I'm going to mention it, and please, Sue, and everybody that watched this video, I'm not being paid to say this, but I absolutely love Stampin' Up. Is a brand I truly love. And they don't sell in Italy. So when I was in Italy, when I was start crafting, I could not buy the products because they simply weren't shipping to Italy. So when I moved to the UK, first thing I thought, my first ever Stampin' Up haul, and I was a big box. And as you know, they're not cheap.
No.
And then I support the brand. Sometimes I can't really justify the price for some products. But my trimmers is for Stampin' Up, my scoreboard is for Stampin' Up, so my stamping blocks are for Stampin' Up. So there are certain things I buy for certain brands because I truly recognize the quality of it. But some other, for example, stamps is probably one of them. They're pretty much the same. They're all made by silicone. They're all made, and design is probably a reason why we buy stamps. And yes, I think once you've got 5 stamps with butterflies, you don't need 6 or 7. So I'm learning.
I will have to agree to disagree there. I can't go past a good stamp. I really can't. But I have to agree with you with the Stampin' Up there. Certainly superior quality. And my punches are mostly Stampin' Up. I think, this is just my opinion, but I think that they certainly are. I've got Stampin' Up punches from 15, 20 years ago, and they are still work fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree.
If there was one piece of advice that you could offer our fellow creators, what would that be?
Start straight away. Yeah. So I just wished I started my channel way before I did. Is you got the fear of trying something different, you got the fear of failing. I just wish I'd done it earlier. Because through you, and I know it sounds cheesy and cringy, but through YouTube, I met so many nice crafters. But it's true, you get to know and to discover so many different crafters, so many different talented people, and that is one of probably the best side of social media, because before that we probably not necessarily be able to do that. So get some papers. Don't need fancy equipment in the beginning. Just get a few papers, few stamps, few colors, and just start and just discover your own style. And yeah, the more you do, they get, the more familiar you get with the products, so you familiarize with them, and you start learning how to use them better with the effects that you want. So yeah, that's probably one little regret and big tip that I can give away.
It's all about confidence, so I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a big thing to put yourself out there.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. With your tools, so like your cutters and that sort of thing, what would be the one tool that you would say, spend decent money on?
Inks. I think get some good inks, without mentioning any more brands. Get some really good inks, because different papers react to different inks in a very different way. Because I personally, and this is my personal opinion, yes, you can spend some really good quality money on paints, acrylic paints or watercolor paints, but stamps, especially if you're a card maker, good stamps, good inks really make a big difference.
Makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I love your decor in the background. I'm just having a look. You're all Halloween, is it? Yeah. And autumn.
It's my husband's, he's in charge for Halloween.
Yes.
So we've got these, they got from Italy actually, these leaves, and then there is a really nice, it looks, I think it looks purple, but it's actually black with some black bubble. And
oh yeah, it looks black from here.
And then we've got a little fairy.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we're nearly at the end of the questions that I had to ask. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about yourself?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. I'm so happy to be part of this invite. So when you invited me, it's like, yes, I was really, really delighted to be here. So thank you.
That's all right. I've really enjoyed catching up with so many of you. And I mean, we have spoken before and not face to face. And it's just amazing how these days we can, we can 9 hours apart, we can chat and, catch up, which is really lovely. One of the things that I did want to ask, and you did touch on this, that I wanted to ask, do you have any future goals with regards to your channel and being creative? You said that you would like to go full-time doing that. Is there anything else that you have goal-wise that you want to share with us?
Yes, certainly. So as I said in the beginning, there are, I've done a list of things that I want to try. So there are some new topics and new techniques that you will see in 2024 that I want to try on my channel, just hopefully to give some more ideas. And one of these is mixed media and scrapbooking, but also I want to trying to get different style, my digital papers as well, because I have so many wonderful feedback from the crafter that buys my paper. So sometimes I tend to stick with one thing because it's that's what I like to do. So there are certain themes that I'm quite scared of, like steampunk is one of them, for example. So there are certain things that, going back to get over the fear of trying. So there are different things I want to try and do, because it's so easy to stay in your comfortable zone and do what that you quite enjoy, you're quite familiar with. So yeah, so there's quite a lot of new things coming up quite soon.
Another thing that I wanted to ask as well, I think it's great that we have more males showing up in not just the journaling community, but the art, craft, creative communities. So how do you feel about, do you get great response from everybody?
Yeah. Apart from literally few people I can put on one hand that give me nasty homophobic comment, I had fantastic feedback from everybody in our community, and I wish there were more male crafters. But it's a very female dominating industry. But yeah, I love it. I'm absolutely love it. And 99.9% of my friends are female. So I love that. And I love being surrounded by women. So it's interesting, put it that way. But I think I'm very fortunate as well, because going back to the fear of failing, and text or stay in contact with other male crafters, and they don't want to start a YouTube channel, they don't want to start sharing the project, because we're part of the same forums and online communities. But yeah, I think they could, and I wish they will, just to make the male crafter community a bit bigger. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think there's certainly room for more male creators, for sure, most definitely. And I'm so happy that you've come on. I've had Joey Cardmaker on and Dash of Dave on as well. So I've got a few others in the hopefully coming up as well. So we're very pleased to have you. As I said at the beginning, I will put all of Antonio's details down in the description box. So please go and check him out. One thing is, I won't be checking you out on TikTok because I haven't done TikTok. I don't understand it. I can't follow it.
It's something that I'm learning myself as well. So yeah, it's working in progress.
I struggle with what I've got on my plate as it is. So I think I'll leave TikTok for a little while. So at the end, I always like to ask if you have a favorite quote or affirmation that you'd like to share with us. Would you have one?
Yes. Meaningful quote for myself is today is a new beginning.
And it always is.
Every day counts. Yes.
Yeah. Life's too short.
Absolutely. Living in the moment. So yes.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed catching up with you.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's so nice chatting face to face and not through emails. And messages.
Yes.
So take care, Antonio, and
take care, Susan. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and we'll chat soon.
Chat soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.